Alright, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to our, what are we on, 4th B-Show report? The final B-Shows of April, and maybe the final shows of April entirely. I don't actually know. I think so. I think the next episode will start in May. So, yeah, we're starting off with Velocity, as always. Main eventing tonight is, of course, the head of the small feud that Steve Corino and Coyote have had. Coyote have done nothing but lose to Steve Corino and jump him afterwards, so he has brought in help in the form of fellow ECW brethren, Tommy Dreamer, to help take on Coyote. And, yeah, but we open the show with Claudio Castagnoli versus Chavo Guerrero. I really wanted to say Cesaro there for some reason, but I did not. I refrained. But yeah, Chavo did incredible. 71 for Chavo. I wanted to give this time just to see how well Claudio would do. Just to truly, because Claudio's got some really, really good stats on, in this mod. And I wanted to just truly see how far a wrestler can get without any pop in this kind of promotion. And not that great, to be honest. I mean, we actually gave him a little bit. Hopefully he gets some indie bookings now. But afterwards, Chavo Guerrero is, no, that happens later in the show. My bad. Never mind. Chavo Guerrero wins in a fun opener. And, Teddy Long is being interviewed by Howard Finkel, and Teddy Long is asked for this interview time, apparently. Finkel's like, why did you ask for this interview time? And Theodore Long says, Fink, there are just so many things going on behind the scenes that nobody comprehends, and nobody is able to spread the message. I had Mark Henry, and Mark Henry got hurt. I had Rodney Mack, and they split me away from him. He's doing stuff on Raw, or is he? I don't know. They've sent him to Guantanamo Bay. Why would they do that? Well, I will tell you why. But if I try to tell you why myself, then I will be silenced. The truth will come out in due time, Howard Finkel. I promise you that. Everybody watching Velocity, watching SmackDown, watching Raw, hell, even watching Sunday Night Heat. Everybody make sure to turn on your TVs when Theodore Long is on, because I'm going to expose this business from the inside out. 63 rated angle. What on earth could Teddy Long be talking about? Our next match sees Billy Gunn versus Sean O'Haire. Billy Gunn still getting this penalty here. I don't want to bury poor Billy Gunn. I really like Daddy Ass, but this penalty just, you can't do much with him. So Billy Gunn's getting, for those of you that watched the 2020 SWF save, Billy Gunn's going to be getting the Makutsi treatment. Yeah, Sean O'Haire defeats him in 8 minutes and 4 seconds, and then begins to cut another promo on why Paul London sucks. And Paul London comes out and he says, you know what, Sean? You might have beaten me last week. You and Booker T might have beaten me and Rob last week. But you know what, Sean? You know what, Dawn? You know what I've realized between you two? You are all talk. You are all talk. That's all you are. That's all you will ever be. All you do is talk about how much better you are than me, and then you never prove it. Yeah, you beat me last week, but that's because Booker T carried you. I mean, Booker T he had to work overtime. Work overtime to make sure you guys won that match. What's gonna happen when you actually get a singles match with me? I'm gonna tell you, Sean, you're gonna lose. And you want to know how I know that? Because next week on Velocity, when we go one-on-one, you're going to lose. And Sean O'Haire just essentially says, Paul, you're too much of a goody two-shoes to beat me. You don't have that dog in you. Well, he probably didn't say that, but that slang wasn't invented yet. You don't have that beast in you. You don't have that inner spirit to break rules and do whatever's necessary. You can't beat me because you don't have the balls to, Paul. You'll never be as good as Sean O'Haire or Dawn Marie. You'll be stuck in Velocity forever while I'll be main eventing WrestleMania. Just you watch. 1 year's time, Paul London. I'll be in the main event of WrestleMania or SummerSlam, or I'll be winning the Royal Rumble, and you won't even be on the card. 47 rated segment. Sean O'Haire, Paul London, set for next week's Velocity. We get a promo as Sable finds Chavo Guerrero backstage. This is what I thought was happening after the Chavo match, but I was wrong. Sable finds Chavo backstage and essentially says, "Hey Chavo, I saw what you were saying to Kyodai on last week's SmackDown. I know how you operate. I know how you and your dad operate. All right, look, you offered your help. They're gonna offer. You offered your help." And, fuck, what was I gonna, fuck, so bullshit, whatever, fuck you, 64. Sable just tells Chavo, "I know what you're planning. I know that you're gonna pretend like, oh, I'm only gonna help them in the Cruiserweight title qualifier, whatever. I know the way you guys roll. I know you're gonna try and help them tonight, too. But I got bad news for you. If you think you're going to be able to go into that match, you got another thing coming." And Chavo just kind of says, "Alright, good luck stopping me, Sable." 53 for that segment. We get a 40 rated match as Rick Steiner and Tony Chimel are an awkward pairing. I think I knew that already and I didn't do anything about it. I forgot. I'm sorry. Ken Anderson and Carl Anderson were just chilling, and then I'm like, that's really fucking funny. Both their last names are Anderson. So they're teaming up against Total Domination. Total Domination, as we know, Perry Saturn's got a match against RVD on SmackDown, so just kind of a warm-up match. Let's just take, because they're going to be teaming 90% of the time, so he doesn't need to be with Tony Chimel. So Tony Chimel just kind of essentially cuts another cracked out promo like, Rob Van Dam and Rey Mysterio, we all know that they don't know what they're doing. They got no clue what's going on in their heads, all right? They cannot keep certain substances out of their system, okay? This is not new news, all right? We all know what Rob Van Dam and Rey Mysterio are aware of, but what we don't know is there's one huge substance that they are clearly not going to be able to keep out of their system, and that's losing. Because you're gonna lose when you take on Perry Saturn. You're gonna lose whenever you try to fuck with Tony Chimel and my clients, because Total Domination will just run through you stoner, useless motherfuckers every day of the week and twice on Fridays or Thursdays. Fuck, SmackDown's still on Thursdays and that fucks with me. 50 rated segment, just kind of hyping up again the Perry Saturn Rob Van Dam match for SmackDown. And our main event, of course, sees Tommy Dreamer and Steve Corino take on Kyodai. And just as Sable predicted, Chavo Guerrero comes out and he tries to gift wrap Kyodai the win. But Sable pulls Chavo off the apron as he's trying to distract the referee, kicks him square in the dick, fucking right up there, crossing the bridge, takes Chavo out. Steve and Tommy, they're able to get the victory. Steve Corino hits Sakota with a super kick, and Steve and Tommy Dreamer pick up the victory here in this Velocity main event. 51 rated Velocity main event. Steve and Tommy Dreamer go over. 57 overall for the Velocity show. Yeah, good little Velocity. It's going to be hard to top last week's Velocity. That did way better than anyone ever should have expected. But, yeah. Steve and Tommy Dreamer are finally able to beat up Kyodai and not have to worry about retaliation as we kind of wrap up that feud for Steve Corino. Steve Corino's first feud in the blue and green brand has been wrapped up. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this Velocity, and let's get into Sunday Night Heat. Alright, and we are here for our second B show of this episode, Sunday Night Heat. Nothing pre-booked tonight, but we will be continuing our mini Heat storylines that we got going on this show. Like I said, eventually I'll get an even bigger roster, and then we'll have, legitimate Heat storylines, but right now I'm having just some fun booking the undercard guys that I want to develop the characters of more. Tonight's episode of Heat, we are kicking off with the return of the team of Lance Storm and Val Venus. I have renamed them to Canadian Thunder. I just thought that would be a fun little tag team name that they could have instead of just Venus and Storm. So Canadian Thunder make their tag team return as they defeat Antonio Thomas and Nick Dinsmore. You know my drill. If you get hired for Raw, you're working Heat. And, yeah, decent little opener. 57 rated segment to open the show. Yeah, Canadian Thunder get the victory. And Val Venus just essentially, he calls out Matt Hardy. He's like, look, I did what I did to Matt Hardy because he fucking deserved it. He beat me at Backlash in a fraudulent match, and everybody knew that it was fraudulent. And then I go out and I stick my neck out for him. I stick my neck out for him and I say, you know what? The only thing that's worse in this company than a guy like Matt Hardy is a guy like Christian. So I go and I swallow my pride and I team with that jag-off Matt Hardy. And what does it get me? It doesn't get me shit. It gave Matt Hardy, the useless fuck he is, it gave him a title match. Did it give me a title match? No. And then Matt Hardy eventually runs out. A brawl starts to break out, but the heels do have the advantage naturally. And, yeah, 63 rated segment here. We cut backstage where another beatdown is going on, as Matt Morgan is beating down poor Maven. But he's not alone. He's got La Resistance with him. They're beating down Maven, and Matt Morgan essentially says, Maven, I know you got no friends. You finally are starting to get what's coming to you. Later on tonight, meet us in the ring. If you actually can find friends, then meet us in the ring later tonight. 39 rated segment. Our next match sees... Fuck, why won't it let me change your gimmick? Why won't it... Alright. Maybe she has to interfere? Maybe she has to interfere. I guess we'll put her in the Rhino match. I guess she'll interfere in the Rhino match. Fucking Stevie Richards. Alright, whatever. She's interfering in the... I literally put that match together because I was gonna turn Victoria. But, didn't let me turn it. I guess if you interfere, it's different. But then we cut backstage where Maven, he finds the Hurricane, and he finds Rosie, and he says, Hurricane, Rosie, I need your guys' help. There's trouble afoot. And Hurricane, he jumps up, he's like, where? There's trouble? Where? Where's the trouble? And Maven says, there's a group of thugs beating people down back here. And he looks at Rosie, Rosie, we have justice to serve. Justice needs to be served. Matt Morgan. He never says Matt Morgan, fucking. He's like, who is this? Who is this thug, Maven? And Maven's like, it's Matt Morgan. He's like, oh, Matt Morgan. I should have known. Ever since I was in the Superhero Academy, I could have pinned a guy like Matt Morgan. I've lost my touch. Ever since that failure to capture the tag team titles with my superhero in training, Rosie here. But today is Judgment Day. It's Redemption Day. For a guy like the Hurricane, for a duo like Rosie, Maven, whatever you say, there will be a Hurricane in their way. And Maven's like, okay, cool. 51 for this segment. We then have Rhino defeating Stevie Richards because Victoria interfered. So I can turn her face. But yeah, ignore that. This match got a 60. Rhino, I feel bad. I don't have anything against Rhino, but I got nothing for him right now. I kind of like Rhino. He's decently over, so, hopefully I can get some more stuff going. Maybe as the roster gets deeper, he can do some more stuff here on Heat. Eventually may have it bleed into the main show. Who knows? 60 rated match. Rhino versus Stevie Richards. We have a promo backstage where Ivory comes and laughs right at Terry. She's just like, you are proving everything that I've been saying about you, Terry. You are useless and you are terrible. And what happened on Monday Night Raw when you faced Trish Stratus? Oh, you lost? And why did you lose? Oh, because you're useless and terrible? That's what I thought. She's just mocking Terry. She does not like Terry very much. But yeah, Rob Conway, Sylvain Grenier, and Matt Morgan are in the ring, and they demand Maven to come out and face his consequences, and Maven comes out with the Hero Squad, and, yeah, 3v3 happens next. 54 rated match. Hurricane was fucking head and shoulder. Holy shit, Hurricane is great. I might have to do a Gregory Helms run. Maybe I just do a Hurricane run. I don't know. Hurricane's one of those guys where it's like, I feel like I would easily be able to write for him, but I just can't. I can't seem to think of anything fun when I'm cutting his promos or anything, and you'd really think that a guy like the Hurricane, especially with how I book stuff, going back to like my old Supreme Wrestling Federation saves, and you'd feel like a guy like the Hurricane be somebody I'd be able to book really easily, but I'm just creatively struggling with him. Regardless, Matt Morgan and La Resistance won tonight as Rob Conway pins Rosie with an ego trip. Hurricane was head and shoulders above everybody else. And then we end the show with the big, brutal heels standing tall. Matt Morgan has finally gotten one up on Maven. Ever since his debut or re-debut on Monday Night Raw, he has been trying to punish Maven, and tonight he is successful once again. And that is how we end this edition of Sunday Night Heat. Not nearly as good as the last one, but you know what? Not every Sunday Night Heat can be a fucking masterclass. So, you know, maybe next week we'll fucking do the Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho match. That's where we'll do the Benoit and Jericho match. Alright, $555,000 made. Good shit going there. Alright, cool. Well, that does it for this B-Show wrap-up. I hope you all enjoyed this edition of Velocity and Sunday Night Heat. I hope SmackDown went well for you guys. I hope Velocity went well. And I hope you all come back for the next episode, which would be none other than episode 16. Episode 16, where we will be back with more Monday Night Raw.